So really quickly, I want to show a little bit about the Fusion tab. So we're going to jump over to the Fusion tab with our 3D title selected. And the Fusion tab allows you to create or edit 3D compositions such as the 3D titles. So we can see here that we're editing the title clip, and it has a group here that says 3D title long something or another. If you double click on that, you can see the nodes group for the titles. You can see that it's quite complicated. It's got things like main text and 4 different box shapes, and these all need to merge together before creating a final video output. So just note that in the Fusion tab, you create 3D compositions by combining nodes, linking them together, and then that will be able to generate a 3D output. So that is something you can do in DaVinci Resolve if you get a little bit more into it. Okay, so just really quickly as well with the color tab. The color tab is where you can color grade your video. So you can either try to target areas of your video by qualifying them. You can use 3D power windows so that only a corner or a section of your video will receive any color changes, or you can apply a lookup table to an entire video clip in order to change its look. So the idea here is that there's a lot of tools that you can use for controlling the look of your video and tools for targeting which areas you want to change. But up here in the top left-hand corner, we have lookup tables. So if we want to take a video clip and we want to apply a specific look to it, we can go over to a lookup table, such as film looks, and you can hover over them in order to see how you can drastically change the look of a video just by adding in one of these film looks to it. So as you hover over them, you'll be able to see the clips immediately get updated with how it would look if we applied the lookup table. And of course, there are many lookup tables that you can find online in order to play around with how your video looks. So for instance, I had previously downloaded a pack of 35 free lookup tables. So I can kind of go through these and see how it affects the appearance of my video. So if I was looking for something a little bit more grungy, like a music video kind of look, I could use this one, Chemical 189, I guess. And if I want to apply it to the current clip, I simply have it selected from this clips window down here, which can be enabled or disabled in the top right. And then right click and do apply to current node. And just by doing that, it changes the look of that video clip. So over in the edit tab, we can see that that has immediately applied a drastic look to how our video looks. We can compare that to the other shots which do not have that lookup table enabled. And that's just a quick example of one of many ways we can edit how our video looks in the color tab. So next up is the Fairlight tab. If we click on that, you'll notice that there's a bunch of audio mixers here because the Fairlight tab is where you generally edit the audio of your video. Notice that in the timeline that there's no reference to video clips here because Fairlight is all about audio. We'll gloss over this tab too, but one cool Fairlight effects that they added in with DaVinci Resolve 16 is the dialogue processor. So we can apply this to any audio clip, which is where people are speaking, to process the dialogue, hence the name, drag that onto the clip, and in one audio effect, you actually be given 6 audio processors that tie together theoretically in order to improve the sound of the people speaking in your video. So you'll have some dials to play around with here. You can try it out, see if the dialogue processor makes your audio sound a little bit better. Note that any of these that you don't want, you can click off at any time in order to disable them. And if you want to see once again how it sounds without the dialogue processor, which turns off all of these as well, you can toggle that on and off as well. Noise reduction is also pretty useful if you're just trying to remove some of the background noise from your recorded video. So one useful thing to note about the Fairlight tab is that by adding in an input device in the mixer here, bottom right, so you can add in your microphones and use that in conjunction with tools like automatic dialogue replacement up here if you want to record in some voice-over narration or character lines